A big injury, huge injury in the NFL today. Took a lot of people by surprise. Deshaun Watson is done for the season. The Browns quarterback needs shoulder surgery. He is out for the rest of this year. He says he is in disbelief, still trying to process all the information. It is a fracture in his throwing shoulder, and he's going to undergo season-ending surgery. He had an MRI yesterday that revealed the issue, and now the Browns are going to have to go forward without the top running back in the NFL, and now their starting quarterback, and things are going to get a little weird. Now, before we get into a big takeaway from this, is that, watching this game on Sunday, and I don't know the play it happened, but I will tell you the play it had happened by, okay? So watching the first half, the Browns looked terrible, right? I mean, I thought this was going to be the Ravens are going to win this game by like 30 points, easy. And the Browns had the ball around the 40-yard line of the Ravens. And Deshaun Watson was in the shotgun, and he got rushed. He kind of stepped up in the pocket, and he threw it down the sideline to Amari Cooper, and it wound up falling incomplete at like the 5-yard line. And he threw it up, and it was like, I'm putting everything I have into this throw, and it goes 30 yards. And it just kind of went down. And I said to myself then, something weird. I go, boy, it looked like it was everything he could do to throw that football on that play. It looked like everything he could do to throw the ball 30 yards, and it was just not on the line, not on a rope, just I'm chucking it up in the air, and I'm watching it come down. So I'll tell you what, guarantee you he was hurt by that play, which was sometime in the second quarter. He was already hurt by that because you just watch it and go, that doesn't look like Deshaun Watson's got a big arm. Guys throw the ball. To throw the ball 30 yards, I'm saying to myself, that looked like Tom Brady near the end in a cold weather playoff game where all he could do was throw the ball 30 yards. So I can guarantee you by the middle of the second quarter, that's what he was hurt by then. And if I could find that exact play, if I go back to the All-22 or NFL Network who has it, I will get it tweeted out because I guarantee you by that play he was already hurt.
Yeah, we'll go back to the Zapruder film and break it down. Obviously, we had concerns for the throwing motion going back to the beginning of the season, right, where he didn't look quite right. So it's the not quite the Hollywood, hey, here I am, pretending to be a quarterback throwing a pass, but the follow through, the velocity, all of that had been problematic for much of his start time this year. So when he had the perfect 14 for 14 to roll things out and they get a dramatic win, like, wow, all right, we got something. Paired with that defense, finally the Deshaun Watson that we'd been looking for. But again, you'd had a number of injuries that we'd already known about, all the slap fighting that went on in social media about desire to play and all that stuff still resonated because that popped up immediately. It's like, see, I told you he was hurt. It's like, nobody doubted that that he had some issues. Now, some of the reports, Jason, were saying another hit there basically disintegrates his shoulder. That was a whole other world. Like, I don't know what that medical term is, but I would say it's Operation Shutdown once we get to that point and you start looking at surgical procedures to get yourself right. But certainly a big blow to a team that had really, the defense had done such a good job of pacing things. They'd overcome the loss of Chubb with Jerome Ford and several other running backs helping to stay the course. And now you'd have to navigate the rest of the season and the return of DTR.
Oh, man. Well, and people now understanding that DTR is no longer the quarterback for UCLA. He is in the NFL, but he played a game early. It doesn't matter. He went back to college. Now he's back from UCLA. He's going to start on Sunday for the Browns. But look, here's where I think
people would care about rivalry week more if DTR was still there for an eighth year or whatever.
This is a tough week for USC UCLA, man. This is a tough week.
I know. I know you were on. You mentioned week, being on 570 earlier, and that is something that we keep raising our eyebrows. Couldn't cares.
Oh,
they're out of the picture. This guy might get fired. But I digress. Yeah, DTR back under center. Remember, a couple of weeks ago as well, it's not preseason kind of stuff when it came to DTR. And remember, Josh Dobbs used to be the quarterback there.
Oh, boy, those were the days, right, when they had Josh Dobbs? Yeah. It was beginning of the season they could have had Josh Dobbs. Now Josh Dobbs is going to get $20 million a year from the Vikings. No, here's where I can
Who would have thought? What a strange world it is, isn't it?
I can give you a big sunny side up for Cleveland, and in doing so, it just pisses me off because it just again shows me how bad the Jets are. I know that things look really awful right now. You know, I've seen all kinds of stuff today. Browns insiders talking about a cursed franchise. Yes, they've lost Nick Chubb. Now they lost their quarterback. How can they do it? I got news for you. The Browns are going to be fine, because they do have the best defense in the NFL. It's better than the Jets. It's better than the 49ers. This is the best. They shut everybody down. They have a good head coach who is going to be able to maneuver around this, and you lose Nick Chubb, okay, you find Jerome Ford, and suddenly the combination of him and Kareem Hunt, it's great, right? You got Jerome Ford, who is more of a breakaway threat. As good as Nick Chubb is, Nick Chubb, even into this year, was kind of a, hey, he's a 4-yard-a-carry guy, right? Where was the big breakaway? Where was the big dynamic plays? There weren't that many. But they actually found a running game now that works, whether it's Kareem Hunt out of the backfield, Jerome Ford, and they will find a way past this as well. The Browns are well coached. They have a good roster, and they've played without Deshaun Watson before. They played without him playing well. They've played with this defense. The Browns are going to find a way to be just fine. They're not going to go in the tank and suddenly every week it's going to be like the Jets and Zach Wilson. No, they're going to be okay. And I'm just going to be pissed because I'm going to go, they're in the same bleeping situation as the Jets. The Jets can't score any points. And they decided, they picked the quarterback they wanted in the backup of Aaron Rodgers. Where the Browns like, we just got guys coming to us that we haven't. No, we picked this guy to be our guy. And now we're not making any changes and we're going to cut a running back instead. And everything's going to, this is just going to upset me more that I'm going to watch the Browns continue to win and stay in the hunt. Not they're going to suddenly go and win 12 games in a row, but they're still going to be good enough, because even earlier this year when Deshaun Watson was awful, because he was awful, he finally played a good half of football in his final half of the game against the Ravens on Sunday. Even when he was bad, the Browns found a way to win. I'm telling you, the Browns are going to be fine rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule as you go forward. I mean, you got a big AFC North battle this week against the Steelers. Browns, even after this information, Jason, still a narrow half-point or full-point favorite, depending on where you're looking. Over-under for that game, 32.5.
Oh, man, are they playing Iowa? Because that would be...
Well, I mean, Pittsburgh, because of the uniform colors, kind of substitutes for Iowa in this place.
I mean, but look at the rest of their games, right? They have Pittsburgh, who can't score already, right? So that's good. That could be a game they win. They're at Denver. Their defense can shut down Denver. They play the Rams. Who knows who the quarterback is going to be for the Rams by then? They have the Jaguars, who are struggling a little bit. You have the Bears. You have the Jets. You have a lot of games that are winnable, and they're going to be a team at 6-3. Hey, to have to deal with this injury now, they'll still be a team that's 1 or 2 games over 500 down the stretch. They'll be playing for the playoffs, and that's just the way this team has been made up. And finally, I get that they're upset, and it's look at the whole season going out. But I'm telling you, man, the Browns are going to be fine in this. They're going to be absolutely fine.
Oh, it's going to be a miserable slog along the way. I mean,
I'm not saying the games are going to be fun and they're going to be 31-30 barn burners. Instead, you got to get used to 12-10 games. So, but a win's a win at the end, right? And you're having fun and you're
that's it.
Looking at the playoffs. Just matters to get that W at the end. That's all that matters.
No, exactly. It's not about style points, but yeah, you look at the slate of games they've got left. Other than, I suppose, the season ender against the Bengals. Everything else, you go, well, they can win each one of those games.
Yeah. I mean, the schedule is their friend.
Even with a fully compromised offense.
Maybe Chip Kelly comes to help.
Even as standing, you had Ford and Hunt, obviously, out of the backfield. But it's been Amari Cooper, and let's see what else happens in the passing game now. Shall we? And still, here you are. The defense has been carrying the day. They'll be expected to for the final slate of games here.